And a very good evening to you. I'm Sophia Cambridge with this Sunday, January 28th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, why is it that an increasing number of Barbadian parents are paying to send their children to private secondary schools? That's what Education Minister Ronald Jones wants to know. He posed the question while delivering the feature address at a graduation ceremony at the Erdiston Teachers Training College. Sharika Griffith has more.
Despite a reduction in coverage for students of the University of the West Indies, the government continues to provide free education to primary and secondary students. Education Minister Ronald Jones is therefore wondering why so many Barbadians are opting to pay for their children's education, particularly at the secondary level.
We have to question why that is happening. What is taking place in the society, which would cause parents and children to want to go to some of the more expensive secondary schools in Barbados. Is there something happening in the public delivery of education that is causing that movement towards the emergence of that kind of phenomenon?
Minister Jones raised the question during a graduation ceremony for students of the Erdiston Teachers Training College, class of 2016 to 2017. Acting Principal Dr. Patricia Saul says the college welcomed its largest group of teachers at any one time during the year in review. She, however, notes that there was a drop in enrollment in the diplomas of education. She believes this could be a sign that the college's efforts to cut down on the number of untrained teachers in the system was paying off.
I have no doubt that with the introduction of the Bachelor of Education program, which facilitates the training of potential teachers before they enter the classroom, that in another 3 years, the presence of untrained teachers at the primary level will be a phenomenon of the past, because all potential teachers will access their training before entering the classroom.
The graduating class was encouraged to remember that students did not only learn from them in the classroom. This advice from Chairman of the college's Board of Management, Dr. Leah Garner-O'Neill.
We focus a lot on the content that we teach and not how we deliver it and what we do when we leave the classroom and that child or that young man or young woman is seeing you. So I want to say, as teachers, you teach all the time. So be very, very careful the type of lesson that you are teaching.
Valedictorian Dexter Allen, a science teacher at the Lodge School, says the time spent at the college was eye-opening in several areas. He believes teachers must become better communicators.
We have discovered that our quest to improve the experiences of students will be unattainable if we continue our individualistic approach as educators. There is a need for greater communication and collaboration, not only with our fellow educators, but we also need to actively engage parents and the wider society to assist in the resolution of the myriad of issues we encounter. We earnestly believe that such collaborative efforts will ensure that our educational institutions function effectively.
During the ceremony, the country's oldest Erdistonian, Avis Carrington, who will celebrate her 100th birthday this year, passed the symbolic torch to a member of this year's graduating class. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks so much, Sharika. And government is open to suggestions on better ways to maintain and repair the country's road network. Transport and Works Minister Michael Lashley says in addition to searching for alternatives to road tax, his ministry is considering paving roads with materials other than asphalt. We get more from Sharika Griffith.
Officials in the Ministry of Transport and Works are weighing the pros and cons of getting rid of road tax. This disclosure from Transport Minister Michael Lashley.
I know that there's some research in my ministry on it, and we have not completed that research thus far. But certainly we are looking at that too. So I'm open to ideas. I'm open. In fact, only recently, an individual who owns the company came to us with a material. That material is not capital intensive, more labor intensive. I think it's some adhesive that he got from overseas. And we tried it on a couple of words, and it basically it worked well. So I'm open to alternatives to apart from asphalt.
Minister Lashley was speaking during a tour of Flagstaff Road, St. Michael, where a major repaving effort is underway. While confirming that the pothole patching program had resumed after a break over the Christmas period, he says work will also begin in the coming weeks on several roads around the island.
I believe that the sum total of the construction works is basically over $1 million. So there will be some inconvenience to the residents, but we are seeking to improve the condition of the roads and improve access to and from to the residents. Now, we have some other roads that we also be continuing hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I know there's Little Bay Road in St. Lucie that will be going on, and then there's Parnmore Village in St. Philip, and Louders in Christchurch.
Member of Parliament for St. Michael South Central, Richard Seeley, was on hand for the walkthrough. He says the condition of the road, which many drivers use to get from Highway 6 to 7, has negatively impacted residents. He's also pleased that the road is being repaved rather than patched.
We have started patching the patches almost. Just look at the condition. You can walk up and down, you see what I mean. We need a new road, a new pavement, and of course, taking into consideration the slipper drains and so on. The technical people are on top of that, because I wouldn't want a lovely road and then come next rainy season, we then have to be dealing with flooding of properties.
The project falls under Phase 2 of the CAF program, which is being funded by the Development Bank of Latin America. The first phase is valued at $5 million. Barbados' road network consists of just over 1,950 roads. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Well, lovers of vintage cars got a real treat today when the 6th edition of the Classic Cars Show came off at Content in St. Thomas. Barbadians were afforded the opportunity to view classic machines from the 1940s all the way up to the 1990s. The cars and the crowd grew as the afternoon wore on, with curious onlookers of all ages getting a first-hand look at some of their favorite classic vehicles. George Elliott is the creator and the coordinator of the event.
I gather a couple of new cars coming out today. Haven't seen them yet, so I'll be looking forward to them. And we do have extras that haven't been here before, so we're looking good.
And Sagicor General has been one of the show's sponsors for the past 4 years, and they've backed their commitment to classic cars in their policy making, a special insurance cover for classic cars.
This classic car cover starts from about 2000 and it goes as far back as you can go, and we can insure that car comprehensive. Recently we've taken the decision that we will bring out an additional cover, which is something called a build cover. So while the car is under construction, it's covered comprehensively. So you don't have to wait until that particular car is finished building. The persons can get comprehensive cover. We also have a third-party cover on the road, and as well as a garage cover. So if the car doesn't go on the road, it's just a show car, we have a garage cover for that. So we have a complete suite of coverages for classic cars.
Well, with February being celebrated as African Awareness Month in Barbados, preparations involving this country's schools have already begun. One of the special events that will be taking place is the African Awareness Pageant for primary schools. The coordinator and choreographer of the African Awareness Pageant, Shelley Small, says it's not only about dressing up, but also about helping to develop students to be well-rounded individuals. She says sourcing sponsorship for the initiative has been challenging, but she's fighting on for the sake of the children.
It's a lot of work, a lot of things coming out of it. When we finish, we have children that are not shy anymore. They're so confident, they can speak, and they're well-rounded. So that's what it's all about. My aim is to push this, and I want to continue pushing this. I would like people really to see the worthwhile of it, right, and really support it.
Well, the pageant is now in its second year, and teams from 10 primary schools will be participating. Several seem to be looking forward to the event.
I'm excited about it, and it is a good pageant
Okay, what are you most excited about?
Winning it.
We're wishing those children the very best as they press on. The sports news is up next.